Good morning, everybody. I'm Amanda from the Lake Success Office, and I'm back with another Therapy Tip Tuesday for you guys. Today, we are going to be talking about extreme picky eaters, also known as ARFID. ARFID is a new eating disorder known as Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, and individuals with ARFID are typically called extreme picky eaters. These individuals typically do not have body image issues that are associated with anorexia, in the sense that anorexia also limits the amount of foods that they intake. ARFID has usually nothing to do with the food, their body image, and more so with the food that they are consuming. There are 3 different types of ARFIDs that individuals can have. One type is lack of interest. Those individuals who fall under this category of ARFID just generally do not have any interest in eating. They don't have a desire to eat. They don't really feel hungry, and they usually get full very quickly. The next type of ARFID is sensory avoidance. Sensory avoidance is very common in individuals on the autism spectrum, although it is not limited to just individuals on the autism spectrum. It could be anybody who is diagnosed with ARFID could also have the sensory avoidance aspect of it. Sensory avoidance is when they are avoiding certain tastes, textures, temperatures, and smells. It can be anything from the child will not eat chewy foods, or they will only eat crunchy foods. They'll only eat foods that are sweet, and they don't want any salty foods. They are very specific to the types of foods that they will eat and that they will not eat. And then the last type of ARFID is fear of aversive consequences. So this can be anything from a fear of becoming sick afterwards, choking, nausea, having an allergic reaction to the food that they are eating. And often individuals, especially older individuals who are diagnosed with ARFID, whether they are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, it is not limited to just children, but older individuals are aware that these things will not happen. They're aware they're not allergic to bananas, but there's a component inside of them that is convincing them that they are allergic to bananas, and that if they eat this banana, they are going to have an allergic reaction, and it can be very, very bad for them, and it can cause them to go to the hospital or whatever that negative consequence is for them. Their mind convinces them of those things. So the biggest thing with ARFID is there's no, quote, rationalizing with them, because this is just what their mind is having them believe in, and this is how they feel. So you can't say, oh, I have to eat those things. You have to do those things. They're aware of that. There's just that fear component behind having that new texture, or there's that fear behind possibly choking or getting sick from it or having an allergic reaction. It is important to note that although people are typically diagnosed when they are younger, ARFID is a newer eating disorder, and there's a lot of new research coming out with it and new research on it, that there are people who are being diagnosed in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, that are being diagnosed that they went their whole life thinking they just were extreme picky eaters, which is what they were always called. They didn't think that there was like an actual eating disorder behind that, and now a lot of people are finding out about those things. So now we'll go over some symptoms and warning signs of ARFID. It includes a short list of acceptable foods. They'll only eat the same 3 foods or maybe 10 foods, but they choose a very small list of foods that they will eat, and those are the only foods that they will eat. They eat foods of similar characteristics, such as crunchy, or in the same color, which would be people who are under the sensory avoidance aspect of ARFID. They may prefer food to be made a certain way every single time. So they won't eat their quesadilla if it's made on a quesadilla press. They'll only eat it if it's made in a pan. There's also avoidance of vegetables and protein sources, avoidance of fruits. An individual who may have ARFID eliminates food and often never gets them back. So they may have ate strawberries their whole life, and now all of a sudden they hit a food jag and they no longer want to eat strawberries. That can also be a symptom or a warning sign of ARFID. Additionally, poor weight gain and growth in individuals is also another sign of ARFID. But it is not the single sign. There are children and adults who do have a normal weight or may even be overweight because they are only eating carbs, or they're only eating snack foods or junk food, and although they are eating food and they are gaining weight, they are not gaining healthy weight. So it could be, and it typically is, low weight gain or not a lot of weight gain, but there is the possibility of having too much weight gain. If you feel that this is something that you or your child falls into this category and you are concerned about the amount of foods you or your child eats and feel that you can benefit from some feeding therapy, the therapists at Suffolk Speech are more than welcome, more than happy to evaluate you and or your child and try to help you with the best of our ability. I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.